Hello, welcome to Tony's Bonsai. There's a famous disco song that goes, I'm in the mood for dancing. Well, today I'm in the mood for chopping, so let's chop some trees. Earlier this year, a lot of YouTubers were challenged to do a $50 challenge, and this was the one I produced. It's like a variegated privet. Really love the pot, love the roots, but the more I look at it, the more I hate it. Well, hate's a strong word for a tree. The more I dislike it. Something has to happen here. This is just not working for me. These long, straight branches, they're just no good. I don't mind this small one because I can always just cut this off there. And that's nice. It's got some little branches off it. And yeah, I'm happy with that little one. But something has to happen with these. I mean, they're awful. I either need to chop one down, or I'm thinking now perhaps I could try and bend one. My preference is for this trunk here, as opposed to this one. So what I've done is I've applied wire to both of them, and I'm going to use this one as an experiment to bend this trunk and see what happens. And if it breaks, it's no problem. I can always just cut it off. It got to there and there was a small crack, so they're relatively brittle, and that sort of showed me what I can get away with doing and how far I can kind of push it. There, cracked, and you can see round the back it's split there. It's just pushed too far. It wasn't supported well enough. But as I say, that was always an experiment, just to sort of learn what I can get away with this privet bush. So that's done its job now. I can remove the wire. Like this. And then I can use this same piece of wire to add a double coil around the piece that I want to keep. So I'll take this now around here like this. And this will add that extra level of support, so this one won't snap. And sometimes when you've got a couple of branches, you can use one like that. Now, at this stage here, there are a couple of buds I'll show you. So we've got two nice buds in here. And what I don't want to do is bring this wire round and damage those buds. So I'm going to make sure that the wire comes underneath. So round it comes, under one bud and over the other bud. So neither of those have been affected. This branch here that's in the way, I'll just get rid of that. And I can now decide what I want to do with this branch that I've wired. And I think, let me have a look. I think this is the interesting angle here. So if I could get this one across in that direction and then move this around in the same direction, I'd have a nice movement up and then round like that. So I want to try and bend this back that way. This is, as I say, it's better supported than the previous one, so I'm hoping this won't snap. got a bit of movement there. I'm not going to be able to take this drastically right across, but I just want to be able to just get rid of that straightness. That's moving. That's moving. This wire's hurting my hand a bit, so if I can just pull that round, that's better. And already now, I've got some nice movement coming up here. I like that. So I'm tempted to not push it too far at this stage, and hopefully these buds can then be used to sort of develop some more movement. I'll try one minor push, just one small more push. Come on, you can do it, Tony. There, just a bit, that was it. That's enough. Don't go mad, don't kill it. This is going to be the front here, so I think that works as it is. I won't push it any further. Excellent, happy with that. So I know you can leave these stumps and cut them off next year, but I'd rather get it done now. Get that out of the way, give it a chance to start healing. And I think there's a couple of little bits of dead stumps that can be removed as well. Nice. Before I move on to my next tree, it was really fun in the summer doing these $50 challenges, and my favourite was Xavier's Expressions of Grace Bonsai. He did like a Pompeii inspired kind of thing, and it was a bit mad, but I like that. And I think this is now, having done that bit of work today, adding that bit of movement, I think I'm beginning to get there and turn this into something with some potential in the future. So again, this will just be left now for the summer. So let's go and have a look, see if there's something else I can work on. I've had a look around the garden and I've dug out this oak. I'm not really happy with this. Something needs to be done. So let's get stuck in. We've got a nice fairly thick trunk. Got a good low branch, lots of buds happening around the base. And then I've attempted to bend this in the past because it was just straight and boring. It's got quite a nice thick trunk. It's got some good roots coming out from the base. And I'm okay with the idea of chopping the trunk here and allowing this small branch to become the new leader. That's fine, I'm okay with that. In fact, I'd probably cut it here and let this bud develop into the new leader, because that bud would grow a lot stronger than this branch. If just left alone, that would go and thicken very quickly. So I'm happy to cut here. However, bearing in mind the fact that I am okay with cutting it, it means that I'm not bothered if I snap this main trunk above it. In effect, what that gives me is the license and the freedom to apply wire to this, really bend and crank this round. It's quite a flexible trunk. Because I bent it in the past, it is naturally going this way. So I'm thinking I can really have a go at manipulating this. I've applied 2 coils of 5mm wire onto this tree now, so let's see how far I can push this oak. I'm not bothered about holding back on it because, you know, if it snaps, it snaps. I'm not bothered. Whoa, that's come around nicely there. That's getting there. Yep, that's good, that's good. That's moving. In fact, these wires that I applied at the base, I can just bring those back round this way just for a bit of extra hold low down. So, let's go again. Round she goes. That's getting there. Now I am getting some splitting of the bark at the back. I'll just show you that. You can see just in here where the bark is fracturing in lines. It's just where that bark is splitting because it's under tension, and that's fine. You can also see here I was careful to avoid damaging the good buds, and this will be in a great position on the outside of this bend. With the bark tearing around here, I'm hesitant about applying too much pressure to this, so I'm going to do a little more, but not a lot, just to get a little bit more movement in. That's good. That worked well, that. There, that's good, that's good. So I've got a nice bend here, coming up nicely, and I think what I need now is I need to turn this back up. So I'm gripping very hard with my left hand so that I don't uncoil this bend, and I'm just applying. Oh, and that's quite difficult, that. Got a bit of a wire pushing in my hand as well. I'll just move that out the way so that I can get my thumb in. That needs to come a bit more. That's too uncomfortable, that. So, go for it now. Go. There. Whoa. I can go a bit more. There. Got it. I can put that wire back round now. So this tree didn't end up being a massive chop. It didn't end up being a chop at all. But because I wasn't afraid to chop it, oh, I've got a nice bud around here as well. Because I wasn't afraid to chop it, it's allowed me to add some really interesting movement to that trunk and possibly create a decent bonsai in the future. So yeah, that worked nicely. I was watching Bonsai Mirai recent video where he was working on a Rocky Mountain juniper, and he was really cranking it, using some thick wire, using guy wires and everything. I love this kind of bonsai. I find it fascinating. And the best bit is when you take the wires off next year and you see if the tree's held its shape. And if you want to see how these trees get on, obviously you know what to do. Other than that, as always, thank you for joining me. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon.